Today I will be discussing Mary Dyer. She was a brave woman who stood up for her religious beliefs in colonial New England. She first followed Anne Hutchinson, a woman who challenged the strict religious rules of the Puritans. Later, Mary became a Quaker, a group that believed in peace and equality, but the Puritan leaders didn't allow Quakers in their colony. Mary kept returning to Massachusetts to support her faith, even though she was warned to stay away. Eventually, she was executed for breaking the law. Today, she is remembered as a symbol of courage, religious freedom, and the power of women to stand up for what they believe in. This presentation will trace the evolution of Dyer's image from a radical prophet to a domestic saint, and later to a feminist icon. Anne Miles reevaluates Mary Dyer's story, showing how she was just as important as Anne Hutchinson in early American history. During a religious conflict called the Antinomian Controversy, people misunderstood Dyer because her baby was born with serious health problems. Some saw this as a sign that she had done something wrong, and they cruelly called her the mother of a monster. Later, Dyer became a Quaker, a religious group that believed in peace and equality. The Puritan leaders didn't allow Quakers, and Dyer was arrested and eventually executed in 1660 for standing up against anti-Quaker laws. Before her death, she wrote letters that showed her faith in God and used stories from the Bible, like Esther, to explain her beliefs. Miles points out that Dyer wasn't just a victim. She was active, she was brave, and deeply spiritual. She also supported other women, like Hutchinson, and helped build Quaker communities that challenged the idea that women should stay silent. Miles argues that Dyer's death became a powerful symbol in Quaker history, changing how people saw her from a monster to a hero. She believes Dyer's story should be part of feminist history, showing how women have long fought for their beliefs and inspired future generations. Stella Setka examines how Mary Dyer's radical 17th century identity as a martyr was reshaped in the 19th century to align with the ideal of true womanhood. In the 1600s, Dyer was known as a bold woman who died for her religious beliefs, but in the 1800s, writers started describing her differently. In an 1855 article called Martyrdom by Mary Dyer, she was shown as quiet, religious, and devoted to her home, qualities that matched what society expected from women during that time. Setka explains that this new version of Dyer erased her strong rebellious side. Instead of being a brave woman who stood up for her faith, she was made to look like someone who simply followed God's will without question. This change was part of a bigger trend, where magazines used stories of early American women to promote traditional gender roles. In the end, Setka shows how Dyer's story was reshaped to fit the idea of feminine sacrifice rather than religious courage. This shows how history can be rewritten to match what people want to believe, even if it's not the full truth. Lisa Logan looks at how Quaker women, like Mary Dyer, played a significant role in reshaping the Quaker religion in the 1600s. In the past, history often ignored women's contributions, but new research shows that women helped build the movement through their families, religious meetings, and by traveling to share their beliefs. By 1750, most of the Quaker ministers who traveled to spread their faith were women. Their friendships and support systems helped keep Quaker identity strong across different countries. Logan says this shows that women weren't just acting alone, they worked together and led as a group. She also explains that this new way of looking at history makes Mary Dyer even more important, not just as someone who resisted unfair laws, but as a leader in both Quaker history and women's history. Instead of seeing her actions as isolated, Logan shows how Dyer was part of a larger network of strong, connected women. Overall, these articles offer insight on how Dyer's story reflects broader struggles over women's voices, agency, and historical memory.